So, no, I wouldn't say I have a passion for HR.
Welcome back to Human Resources for the People. It's a human capital revolution. Today we're going to be answering Ask HR questions from the subreddit because I'm banned. Part 12, I think we're on. Check it down below. The first one up is from New York, and it asks, can you ask them during background check for previous employers to not be contacted? So what the OP is asking here is, when they're running a background check, can you ask those people to not contact him? And it says that he left with a boss that they weren't on the best terms with, and would love to avoid having them be involved. So there's a couple things. No, I mean, yes, you can do that. It shouldn't matter too much. But if you think it is going to matter, the question is whether or not this is a big company, right? So if you are one of maybe 5 employees or something of that nature, when we're talking something quite small, um, it's one thing, but in bigger corporations, the boss never sees it. It's just not. Don't put their phone number on there. Put a corporate number on there, and yeah, once you have that, the boss isn't ever going to see this. So I really would feel comfortable listing them if something like that happened. That said, you should be fine, assuming it's not your only experience. And there's a reason that that check mark exists. There's a reason why that's possible. But, you know, it's very unlikely that your boss would be involved unless your background is a extremely small company with no HR and nothing else. Because for the most part, Sterling's not going to ask a whole lot of information anyway. They're just going to ask when you worked there, how long, and maybe what your title was. So there's really no point to it if you really need this. Number two is out of Michigan, and it asks, "Do I ask for a raise? I saw that my work was hiring for another in my position, with the starting rate being what I'm currently paid. I've been here for 2 years. Do I ask for a raise? There is room for more indicated on the job posting, but I'm not sure if I should or where to start." Good question. There's a lot of variables here that we have to be cognizant of. If you bring more to the position, I think you absolutely should. If your position has not been getting a cost of living adjustment over the last 2 years, when inflation rates are extremely high, I honestly think you should probably start looking elsewhere in general, because if a business isn't going to give you any kind of raise over 2 years, you probably don't want to be there. And frankly, with cost of living adjustments, you probably shouldn't, or you should probably be getting those regularly with the nature of the business right now as it is. So I would ask for a raise, but what you need to do is write down what you have brought to the business over the last year, the more experience, and not just the fact that there's another job being posted. Because frankly, if another job is being posted with the same amount of money that you're making, they could just replace you with two people, right? I mean, if there's no value there and no value in what you bring, then there's probably no leverage point. But if you bring value, articulate the value, and then go from there. I think that it's perfectly acceptable to ask for raises when you haven't been getting them from a cost of living um, perspective, but I think you should come with some sort of data about what you bring to the table and what you can bring for the future. Last is a fun one out of Florida, and it says math and human resources. So the OP is asking here, I'm a junior in college getting my bachelor's in psychology with a minor in project management. Great combo, by the way. I mean, I think that that's a pretty good combo for human resources. It says, I've always wanted to get my master's in HR, but I'm a little scared now seeing how much math is required for it. It says, is learning math for this job difficult, or is it all calculated through Excel or some type of computer programming? Uh, yeah, it's a little silly. Math isn't really a huge portion of HR. It's definitely all done through Excel. Um, payroll can be a little bit more math heavy, but most of it's multiplication rather than sort of abstract calculus or something like that. Uh, Math is absolutely not required for HR, and it's a little frustrating. The modern, university system pushes these classes, and I understand the concept, but ultimately, this is a very limited subject for HR people. We're not the brightest bunch, and as a result, you shouldn't be scared. I honestly think that a bachelor's in psychology with a minor in project management, that project management is going to do you real well. Um, and I think that's good. I'm not sure that you get a master's in HR. I think that the psych and project management is enough. And then you go for a master's in something related, like an MBA or something of that nature. But that's how I would tackle it if I were you. But thank you very much. I think that that's a really good question, and I'm glad people are asking things like this. What do you think about today's video? Please comment down below, like, share, and subscribe. It really helps out. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.